The rain hammered against the diner's windows, blurring the neon glow of eats into a sickly smear. Elias Thorne swirled the lukewarm coffee in his chipped mud, a bitter taste doing little to dispel the tremor in his hands. Across from him, Silas coughed, a rattling sound that echoed the unease gnawing at Elias's gut. "Martha," the waitress, moved with the slow deliberation of a woman carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, refilling their mugs, with a practiced weariness. "He's watching us, Elias." Silas rasped, his voice a low murmur lost amidst the rhythmic drumming of the rain. Bartholomew nose were onto him. Elias glanced at the diner's entrance, half expecting to see Bartholomew's gaunt face peering out from the shadows. He hadn't seen him, but the feeling of being scrutinized remained, a prickling sensation on the back of his neck. "He's been subtly altering things," Silas continued, his eyes darting nervously around the diner. "The news reports, the investigations, everything's been shaped to protect Blackwood's legacy, to bury the truth." The truth, this doctor, Albright had painstakingly detailed, was a horrifying revelation Alistair Blackwood hadn't been the esteemed scientist history portrayed him to be. He's been obsessed with manipulating reality, attempting to reshape the world into something he called the harmony. Albright's notes suggested Blackwood believed our world was inherently flawed, a discordant mess desperately needing to be corrected. "The harmony," Elias repeated, the word tasting like ash in his mouth. "What asterisk is asterisk it, Silas? What did Blackwood intend to create?" "A twisted paradise," Silas said grimly. "A world devoid of suffering, of conflict, but also a world devoid of choice, of individuality, a world controlled by his vision." Suddenly the diner door creaked open, and a gust of rain swept in, momentarily obscuring the view. When Elias's vision cleared, he saw Bartholomew standing just inside, his tall frame casting a long, unsettling shadow. He offered a polite, almost apologetic smile. "Mr. Thorne, Mr. Blackwood, I trust your journey was agreeable." Bartholomew's voice was smooth, controlled, but Elias detected a subtle undercurrent of amusement. "Bartholomew," Silas said, his voice strained, "what brings you here?" "Merely ensuring you have everything you require," Bartholomew replied, his gaze fixed on Elias. "Dr. Albright spoke highly of your connection to Mr. Blackwood's work. A fascinating resonance, wouldn't you agree?" Elias felt a surge of adrenaline, his palms sweating. He remembered the fragmented woman's warning, echoing in his mind. He wants to control you. He wants to use you. We're just discussing some historical details, Elias said, trying to keep his voice steady. Bartholomew's smile widened slightly. "Of course, history is so easily misinterpreted. It requires careful curation." He paused, his eyes lingering on Elias. "The music is returning, you know. It's a sign that the process is nearing completion." "What process?" Silas demanded, his voice rising. Bartholomew ignored him, his attention solely on Elias. "You're a catalyst, Mr. Thorne, a vital component. You can't deny your role." He turned and left the diner, the bell above the door jingling a dissonant chime. Outside, the rain intensified, turning the streets into shimmering rivers of light. Elias and Silas left the diner, the weight of Bartholomew's words pressing down on them. "We need to find the map," Elias said, his voice tight with urgency. "The one that leads to the grove." The map, recovered from Blackwood's study, depicted a series of obscure landmarks, leading to a secluded area deep within the wilderness beyond the estate. According to Albright's notes, the grove was the nexus of Blackwood's experiments, the place where he intended to manifest the harmony. Following the map, they navigated treacherous terrain, the oppressive silence broken only by the rustling of leaves and the incessant rain. Finally, they arrived at the grove, a desolate clearing dominated by a monolithic stone structure overgrown with thick vines. An unnatural stillness hung in the air, a palpable sense of wrongness that sent a shiver down Elias's spine. "This is it," Silas whispered, his voice trembling. They cautiously approached the stone structure, discovering a hidden passage leading down into the earth. The air grew colder, heavier, carrying a metallic scent that assaulted their nostrils. They descended into the darkness, the only light source Elias's flickering lantern. The passage opened into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in shadow. In the center of the chamber, bathed in an eerie green light, stood a music box. Its intricate carvings depicted scenes of idyllic landscapes and smiling faces, a false promise of the harmony. As they approached, the music box began to play, its melody discordant and unsettling. It was a distorted version of a lullaby, filled with an undercurrent of menace. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber, cold and devoid of emotion. "Welcome, Mr. Thorne. Mr. Blackwood has been expecting you." Bartholomew emerged from the shadows, his eyes gleaming with an unsettling light. He stood between them and the exit, a silent guardian of the harmony. "Your interference ends here," Bartholomew said, his voice resonating through the chamber. "The music is almost complete." The music swelled, the notes intertwining into a cacophony of sound. Elias felt a strange energy coursing through him, a tingling sensation in his fingertips. He felt a connection to Alistair's work, a horrifying understanding of his twisted vision. Then everything went black. When Elias regained consciousness, he was lying on the cold stone floor. Silas was gone. The music had stopped. Bartholomew was nowhere to be seen. The chamber was silent, save for the dripping of water. He staggered to his feet, disoriented and weak. He looked around, searching for any sign of Silas. Then he saw the single crimson rose lying on the floor, bathed in a faint green light. It was a calling card, a warning. The harmony lingers.